I wanted to ask you real quick too. What are your thoughts about, if someone's just diagnosed with cancer? There could be a lot of those people listening.
Yeah.
And so, if you're just diagnosed with cancer, a lot of people, I think the conventional mindset is to say, you know what, I'm going to get, whatever the doctor tells me to do, I'm going to get the chemo, I'm going to get the radiation, I'll let them cut it out, and that kind of thing. And then if all that doesn't work, then I'll try natural stuff.
Sure.
Now, explain a little bit about why you think that may not be the best approach for people.
Yeah, well, personally, if someone in my family were diagnosed, we would run as fast and as far away from the local oncology centers as possible.
Right.
And here's why. Because they are always going to push the cut, poison, burn protocol, the radiation, surgery, chemotherapy protocol. And that just doesn't work. The studies have shown that does not work. There was a 2005 study done in Australia that showed that the success rate of chemotherapy in Australia was 2.1%. 2.3% success in America when we're looking at a 5-year survival. To me, that's not acceptable.
Right.
When you look at the studies, the surveys that are done with oncologists, both at it was at the McGill Cancer Center in Canada, and I believe there was also one that was done at Harvard that showed that anywhere between 80 and 90% of oncologists, if they're facing a cancer diagnosis, will not do chemotherapy. They know that it's toxic to the system. They know that chemotherapy causes cancer. As a matter of fact, many different types of chemotherapy are listed as class 1 carcinogens. In other words, they are known to cause cancer. So, and the reason is they suppress the immune system. They kill the immune system. They do kill cancer cells, and that's why, thank God that folks like your mom are still alive, because chemotherapy did kill the cancer. And she was able to survive despite the chemotherapy, because the chemotherapy also, while it targeted the cancer cells, it was also destroying her immune system. But she's one of the ones that made it, and I'm thankful for that. But most folks don't understand that chemotherapy is not selectively toxic to cancer cells. It also kills your immune system. So that's why I would never do it personally, and my family would never do chemotherapy, because those that survive, they survive despite the chemotherapy, not because of it. And they survive because their immune system is still strong enough to fight off the chemo, and not for the chemo not to kill them. To me, there's just too many other better ways to do to treat cancer than to treat it with a set of substances like chemotherapy that is known to cause cancer, and radiation known to cause cancer. CAT scans are known to cause cancer. There's better ways to do it in my book.
Yeah, and I think there's also something to be said about if you go through those treatments first, then the likelihood of a natural treatment, because what a natural treatment is doing is either cleansing out your body and boosting the immune system, and when you go through the conventional treatment first, you basically destroy the immune system. So the natural treatment just can't work as well, right? Right, and that's a good point, because a lot of times the natural cancer treatments get the blame when the conventional cancer treatments are the real culprit. In other words, somebody goes through 8 rounds of chemo and a year of radiation, and then the doctor says, you know what, we've done all we can for you, go home and die, because the chemo's not working anymore, the radiation's not working anymore, you've got 2 months. Then they go try some natural treatment and they die. Well, guess who gets the blame? The natural treatment. Oh, that was quackery. They did this natural treatment and that killed them. No. They went through a year of chemo and radiation and that killed them. Right. So that's the problem, is a lot of times that the natural treatments get the blame, when really the culprit that killed their immune system and put them on their deathbed was the conventional treatment.